The first time I saw him, I had a carton of milk in my hand and a mouthful of curse words I didn't say. He had just grabbed the last pack of the cereal I came for, and he didn't even notice me glaring from 2 feet away. Or maybe he did. Maybe that tiny smirk was his way of saying, "Yeah, I saw you. And no, I'm not sorry. That was 3 years ago." Now, we're in our cramped kitchen at 7 in the morning, half asleep, negotiating who gets to make coffee first while our 2-year-old daughter decides to smear peanut butter on the dog. Life is funny like that, how one annoying stranger can end up becoming the person you share a mortgage, a child, and 1,000 unspoken dreams with. I didn't like Alex at first. He was too sure of himself, too quick with comebacks, too infuriatingly handsome. I mean, what kind of person has the audacity to look like a walking Calvin Klein ad while buying eggs and paper towels? But fate, or maybe just my bad luck, kept throwing him in my path. The grocery store wasn't the only place I saw him. He turned up at the park where I jogged. He was at my favorite coffee shop. It was almost creepy, except he always had this calm, steady presence that made my chest tighten in ways I didn't want to admit. The real turning point happened on a rainy Tuesday. My sister had called me in tears, telling me she couldn't keep the baby anymore. She was barely 20, broke, and drowning in her own mess. I was still reeling from her words when I ran into Alex, literally coming out of the store. I dropped the bag, apples rolling across the wet pavement, and he just crouched down and helped me pick them up without asking why I looked like I'd been punched in the gut. "You okay?" he asked, and for some reason, I told him the truth. We didn't start dating right away. First, we started talking. Then we started spending time together, mostly because he insisted on helping me get ready for when the baby came to live with me. He had no reason to care, but he did. He came over to build a crib I had no idea how to assemble. He stocked my freezer with meals. He sat with me through the first sleepless nights when I was sure I'd break from exhaustion. Somewhere between changing diapers and late-night feedings, something shifted. I realized I wasn't just grateful for him, I wanted him. Not just in the way you want someone to hold you when the world feels too heavy, but in that dangerous, hopeful way that whispers maybe. Of course, it wasn't smooth sailing. We fought. God, we fought. Over everything from who left the light on to whether our daughter Lily should be allowed to eat ice cream before dinner. We had different parenting styles, different ways of loading the dishwasher, different definitions of on time. But underneath all of that, there was this unshakable truth. We were a team. The first time Lily called him Dad, I saw Alex's hands tremble. He tried to hide it, but I caught the way his throat tightened. That night, after we put her to bed, he kissed me like he'd been waiting years to do it. And maybe he had. Now, mornings are messy and loud. There's coffee spilled on the counter, toys underfoot, and laughter that fills every corner. We still argue sometimes about big things, sometimes about stupid little nothings, but I wouldn't trade it for the quiet, empty apartment I had before. Because now, even the chaos feels like home. And every time we're in the grocery store together, Alex makes sure to grab that same cereal he stole from me the first time we met. He says it's for Lily, but I know better. It's his way of saying, "See? I told you you'd forgive me." And he's right. I did. Completely. It wasn't until last winter that I realized how far we'd come. We'd planned a small Christmas at home, just the 3 of us. A tree too big for our living room, and enough hot chocolate to drown in. But a snowstorm hit, trapping us inside for 3 days straight. The first day, it felt like magic blankets piled high. Lily squealing every time she saw snow through the window, Alex humming while he cooked. But by the second day, cabin fever set in. We argued about whether to watch a rom-com or an action movie. We argued about who forgot to salt the front steps. At one point, I think we even argued about how to pronounce pecan. But that night, after Lily finally went to sleep, Alex and I sat on the floor in front of the fire. The room was quiet except for the crackling of the logs. He looked at me, really looked at me like he was seeing the guy from the grocery store all over again. "You know," he said softly, "I think I knew even then, that day we met. You were glaring at me like you wanted to kill me, and I thought, yeah, this is the guy." I laughed, leaning into him. "You're ridiculous." "Maybe, but I was right." We kissed, slow and unhurried, the kind of kiss that makes you forget the world outside. And in that moment, I realized something: love isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in grocery store runs, in midnight feedings, in stupid arguments and making up before bed. It's built in showing up over and over again. Now, when people ask how we met, we never tell the full story. We just say, at the grocery store, and leave it at that, because the rest, that's ours. But life has a way of testing even the strongest bonds. This spring, Alex got a job offer in another city, better pay, better hours, but 200 miles away. We didn't talk about it right away. Instead, we tiptoed around it, both afraid that saying it out loud would make the choice real. One night, after Lily was asleep, I finally asked, "Do you want to take it?" He hesitated. "I don't know. I want the job, but I want us more." That was the thing about Alexei, never made me guess where I stood with him. Still, the thought of moving terrified me. This city was our history. The grocery store, the park, the little coffee shop where he learned I take my latte with too much sugar. "Maybe we make new memories," he said, taking my hand. "As long as we're together, it doesn't matter where." And just like that, the fear loosened its grip. We moved in June. The first few weeks were chaos, boxes everywhere. Lily deciding the living room was her new art studio. Us navigating streets where nothing felt familiar. But one Saturday morning, we found a small grocery store a few blocks away. Alex grabbed a cart, grinned at me, and without saying a word, reached for the exact same cereal he'd stolen years ago. I laughed, shaking my head. "You're never going to let that go, are you?" "Not a chance," he said, slipping the box into the cart. "It's our thing. And maybe it is. Because love isn't just the big moments, it's the little ones you carry with you. No matter where life takes you. The shared glances over breakfast. The way your hands find each other in the dark. The arguments that turn into laughter. It's the certainty that even when you don't have everything figured out, you have each other. And that's enough. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.